Solid principles.
Well, I only got two of you to stand up. I appreciate that.
Waiting till you're done.
Thank you. These are people that are, they're giving you like a down payment on what you may say. I want to thank all of you. I've learned a lot, and I'm still willing to learn. 3 years ago, if you would have asked me what my political affiliation is, I wouldn't have given it too much thought. I'd have readily told you, Democrat. It's kind of like an unwritten law. If you're Mexican-American, it's an inheritance. For the most part, we are Catholic, and we are Democrats. It's you can't change. You'll upset your parents. I remember many years since trying to contemplate the idea of joining the Grand Old Party. And I said, I better run this through Moms. I said, Ma, Dad, sit down. I want to talk to you before I can go any further. They said, oh, my God, he's gay. Ay, Dios mío, he's gay. I said, no, Mom. I'm thinking of being a Republican. She said, I wish you were gay. Please look, what have we done? I went on 2 years ago, when I started this 3 years ago. 2 years ago, I wasn't so sure what I was. Now I got a vague idea. I didn't seek this, I guess we can call it a battle now. It came to me, My mom called me up and she said, you hear what's going on over here? I said, no, Ma, what's going on? She lives right outside of Fresno. And I figured nothing goes on there because it's Fresno. And in fact, if it wasn't for Bakersfield, we'd have nobody to look down on. God bless you folks here in Bakersfield. Yeah, all right. It's just that home is where your mother lives. And she's there. We came to this country. We came as migrant farm workers. We came very, very poor, but not of spirit. My father was a wonderful optimist. Excuse me, let me help you with that. If I feel bad, I'm the only Mexican here not working. I have found, I hope you continue with that sense of humor when I'm going through things that you may not agree so much on. But that's the beauty of it all, that we can have dialogue. This battle was ridiculous. I didn't believe it. I had to go check it out for myself, that a judge, without the express will of the people, without any kind of consultation or asking, what do you think if we do this, should allocate zero water to an industry that solely depends on its survival for that. If anyone has found a way to farm without water, well, then they should let us know, because I don't know what that is. If they would have given us 10%, there would have been a percentage for us to negotiate, for us to say perhaps we have been a little piggish with the water. Let's be more responsible. How about 5 and you keep 5? Like the song of my era said, Billy Preston said it best, that nothing from nothing leaves nothing, and there was nothing to negotiate. To try to explain this to my friends in Hollywood or my friends in urban areas who don't understand why I don't go to the party so much now, why my agent has to always explain to me that I picked a dead horse. That it's not one of the sexy issues, Paul. It's not breast cancer. You're not going to get a lot of media out of this, You're going to stand next to George Clooney and get exposed. But I swear to you that there are many other things that I could be doing to expose myself. And I would figure out a way without resorting to this. Sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, I did not get into this with any kind of ambitions whatsoever. I will swear on it right now that I have none, zero political aspirations, because if the governor had skeletons in his closet, I've got bodies in mine. And I enjoy my privacy, and I want to quickly return to that. But this was ridiculous. I always saw myself as an environmentalist. I perhaps, Hollywood, and perhaps vicariously through me, I have funded many of these things, I guess, because I performed for them. Every time they call, you go there, and not really knowing what you're backing. Not knowing that those dollars are going to turn around and hurt me, hurt those I love the most. You know, it was really ridiculous to try to explain that my neighbors weren't going to farm this season because they didn't have any water or their allocation. And it's so complicated, and the opponents in this issue are quickly to remind you how ignorant or uninformed or downright stupid you are. They've said things like, well, oh, they're misinformed. They don't really know the issues of it. Well, that's true. I will never be accused of being any kind of brain trust fund here. But all I know is that we had water last year. And I know what that looks like. And I know what a field without water looks like. And that's what we got there. We realize that the people that I most admire, the people that have shaped me, all of a sudden I had done something wrong to them I didn't understand. Where was the United Farm Workers, I said? Where are they? They should be on this. I knew Cesar Chavez. He knew me. We broke bread together. He came to my house. It wasn't a casual acquaintance. I remember briefly. In Delano, marching with him, I was 12. He came to my home. I've got letters. This wasn't someone that I've heard of. I remember one time after having him on my television show in Spanish, which cost me that show because I had him on, and all of a sudden the supermarkets that were sponsoring my program didn't. And I knew that was going to happen, but I was willing to pay that price because to me, friendship has a very high value. And you don't give it away readily or take it. But when I heard comments that the UFW was not going to support any water towards farmers because they didn't want to advance or help the white farmer in any way, I figured it was they who had been miseducated and they didn't know what they were talking about. Because if you can't have a farmer, you can't have a farm worker. You know? I have been both, and I have been lousy at both. You can say anything, but you got to admire my consistency. You know, I won't be wordy. There are other speakers here that I want to hear, and I am in a little bit of back pain. But I expect more of it to come because I'm not going anywhere. They think whatever accusations they may make of me, bring it on. Before you try to out me, I'll tell you exactly what I do and what I am. Now, a lot of it I'm not proud of, but that's just the way it is. You know, you have to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. I happen to be the son of a wonderful man that never made the news when he passed, but he's lying restfully in Reedley. And maybe that graveyard is not going to have enough water to water that lawn, but I'll see to it. It's green. He was my dad. And the wonderful thing about my dad is when he brought us to this country, he didn't come here with no demands. He didn't come here. As a matter of fact, I always used to have to battle for my dad to vote. And he would tell me, he goes, no, I better not. I used to vote in Mexico. Look what a mess I made over there. You know, the gringos have done a pretty good job here, Paul. Just let it be. Just let them continue to do that. It was pretty hard to argue with it, you know. He had a deep love for this country. He was grateful. He told me that he wasn't going to leave an inheritance for his children. He was going to leave something more important than that. He was going to leave them in a place with ideals, in a place where you can become someone. If you really wanted to, you had a shot at it. You know, in Mexico, the son of an irrigator, which is what he used to do, he used to irrigate bean fields in Sinaloa, that person does never have a shot to become any kind of celeb or to have the hope to achieve anything. If it does happen, I've not heard of it. So whatever I am in your eyes, it really doesn't matter. I know what eyes I'm seeing through. And all the things that I've gotten, I am grateful for. And this is why I'm here. We were migrant farm workers. The Lord smiled on me, and I was able to make a few dollars. And one time working with Mr. Bob Hope doing his last Christmas special, I casually asked him, you know, how would I heard that he was very successful. How would I double my dollar? He goes, young man, run out to the edge of town, and if you have the money, buy it. Anywhere here in these lower 48, or if you can get up to Alaska or Hawaii, anywhere in America, just buy a piece of land, sit on it, and you can't go wrong. And up to 3 years ago, he was right. So there I am. I bought my mom the proverbial farm. We grew the sweetest oranges, and are still gonna, that the Central Valley can grow, and the sourest lemons, and a lot of olives, and a lot of things. We are truly blessed to live in a land that just like Canaan, everything that you drop on there will grow. We have everything we need except resolve. You know, the sad part about it is that the more I went to learn, I learned that both parties can't even agree on how to store water. They can't even agree, well, it should be underground, should be above ground. How do we capture what's coming from the ground, what's coming from the sky? Where do we put it? In the middle of a historic drought that's not going to get any easier, we're still battling over this. I say that I don't understand this much, but there are two things that we, the Latino Water Coalition, want, and that is a short-term solution. Opened those pumps yesterday. And a long-term solution, a comprehensive plan, so that we won't have this fight again. Now, when I say Latino Water Coalition, a lot of you automatically say, why Latino? Doesn't everyone need water, Paul? Why just you Latinos? And as a Caucasian person, I take offense to that. Why does everything have to be segregated? I don't know. I don't know, but we're using this. We're using this race card in a positive manner, a cloak. You know, everybody's welcome to this. The reason why we call it the Latino Water Coalition, because it gives them a pause. You better not attack these Latinos. We don't know. If we call it the Caucasian Coalition, you bet they would have already been attacking us. Because Caucasians, sadly to say, who's defending you? I am. You know, just to put that to rest, there's no division. They came to me, and God knows I wasn't asking for no kind of leadership. I've been in front of many, many audiences over the 30 years of pretending to work, and I seldom have been as nervous. I think even the pain that I have in my back might be psychosomatic. I've been performed in front of prisoners at San Quentin, and both Afghanistan and Baghdad, more than 4 times back there. And I swear to you, on the way over here, I almost had to pause and think of my words and to show you the truth. Here's my idea of a speech that I don't seem to need now. Because I've connected with you. I want you to know I'm speaking off the cuff. I'm telling you this, that you have become allies of mine. Because all the things that I've heard about you, like most of the things that you might perceive about me, more than likely are wrong. The reason why these things exist is because of fear. When I was a young man, I was indoctrinated to believe of the evil, incarnate evil of the white farmer who mistreated his workers and cared more about his John Deere than Juan. Although I never met that person. Although if we ever received kindness was from farmers who treated us decently and with respect. That's what I can remember. I never heard my father complain. I'm not defending or kissing or becoming a coconut or whatever label you want to put me. I'm simply telling you what happened to me. I'm not speaking for the other 40 people in my house. Me. I won't be too long. What it is this. The more I try to learn, the more I realize that the people who are our opponents, the environmentalists, I believe in their sincerity. This is what makes them dangerous. They're sincere in their beliefs. They're dedicated. They have the tenacity of a Jehovah's Witness. That's what makes them formidable. We must have even more tenacity than them. We must be able, the kind of fear that they're able to instill in politicians and elected officials. When I first started to knock on doors, they would say, well, who is this guy? He doesn't even have a hit show. I don't know what But I wasn't there as the comedian. I was there as a citizen. The same rights that you have. I wanted to see. It happened that a lot of those politicians there, I had helped to elect because I'd knock on doors for Fabian Nunez. At one time, I was the only game in town. Every time they needed an entertainer for a banquet to raise money, I was Juan on the spot. I was happy to do that. I felt that was the most I could help my community, to give to them, But when I knocked on the door, and it wasn't to have a parking ticket fixed or anything like that. It wasn't something for me. It was for my area. Fabian, the people over here, they need water. I got a farm. What's up? Wouldn't see me. Wouldn't see me. The first people that saw me were Republicans. And I said, what? What's going on? Why are they so slow on this? I've been friends with Cruz Bustamante. I remember traveling with him on private planes to go to casinos to raise funds. And I told him, I said, be careful, Cruz. They're going to use this on you, And he said, oh, it's legal. And I said, there's a lot of things that are legal that might look immoral. And I don't know anything about politics. It has never been my favorite topic. I couldn't begin to tell political jokes. They're just not funny to me because most of them are in office, and that way it's terrible to talk of. But this has really been personal, When all the mayors of all the elected officials of the valley I call home came to me with a petition, and I said, why me? They go, well, the governor's in show business. You're in show business. You guys got something in common. You'll see each other like that. We don't have anything in common other than we both mangle the English language. That's it. The fact that we probably would need an interpreter to communicate. We don't have nothing in common. But if I could help, and I would. The more I started to learn about this, the more I realized how something so simple as turning on a pump can be so cumbersome with red tape, and you don't understand the politics, and it's going to take more than this, it's going to take more than that. You learn that there are two pumps. One is state and one is federal. I don't really care. Does a farmer, if your house is on fire, do you care if that fire is being turned off by federal or state water? You want that fire off. They don't seem to understand the urgency. Wait, it's a slow process. We're going to get there. My trees can't wait. The cattle can't wait. You don't wait. Water is way up there with like breathing. Well, water is it's not a privilege. It's not a right. It's something that, it's life itself. If you're going to function, I can give you statistics and examples, but that would be just a waste of time. I'm sure you're educated. I'm sure you know. I probably am preaching to, well, I know I'm preaching to people that are more allied in my views. Because I can tell you folks know something about farms. You know, when you go to the offices of the Latino caucuses, the representatives, all those people that weren't there some 20, 25 years ago when myself and several others started to work towards that. And now they proudly have flags of the UFW here and there, and they all espouse to be, oh, you know, I used to pick grapes and, you know, the apples and the things. But you can tell that if they ever did that, they picked it at a supermarket. You know, we all pretty much knew each other, and I don't remember them. My uncle, Figueroa Pantoja, he was a legend in that area. He was Pantoja Trucking. He had trucks, and he knew about that. And so he was a contractor. We knew all that. And it's a very, very hard work. There are so many other issues that we could talk about, you know, that we might have disagreement or agreement on. But I'm not worried about that. If I knew that if I can get you or whoever to listen to me to agree on just one issue, water, put all issues aside on this march that I called for, because I didn't know any better. I was afraid. I was expecting, you know, maybe myself and, I don't know, 3 or 4 other people out there marching, you know. To my amazement, it was close to 5,000 the first day. The middle days, we went 1,500. The lowest we had is 1,000. And the last day, we topped 10,000 people. And marching out there, unlike the other marches that I saw, I was marching next to white farmers, next to Sikh businessmen, next to Mexicans like ourselves, Americans first. We were all marching along blue, and there were no Mexican flags, because I don't want no Mexican flags. We don't live in Mexico. It is not my country. I was not in the Mexican Air Force. I don't know if they have one. I'm tired of apologizing for a country I don't run. And this is where you have to also distinguish. Until you can see Hispanic Americans with the same interest, and we can see you in the same way, we will both wither. We need to coalesce. We need to fight the Endangered Species Act. And you, look around the room. You need to attract more of me, or else you'd be an endangered species. There's no shame in that. You know, we have so much in common. A lot of the values that this party espouses, we espouse. We believe strongly in family. We believe life is sacred. It might not be the popular belief, but this is what we believe. And we have the right to believe. You know, when I was in Baghdad, when I was in other places, when it's all said and done, the conflict there is religious conflict. It's oil conflict. There's a lot of conflict, but it's conflict. I mean, I know some people are against this or for this. I don't even go there. All I know is that I was in the service, and when I was serving, I saw a USO show, and it sure made me feel good. Now I have an opportunity, I'll go there. I'm not pro-war. I'm not against war. As I watch these young kids, Marines here, they weren't too much older than that, the ones I saw in the hospital. Let's just make sure that that blood was shed for a reason. Amen. Let's make sure that when they come back, there's a reason why that price, the highest of all prices, was paid. Not frivolously send someone there. You know, as I close, I'll tell you this. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I know I'm going to do something. Because I'm not going to sit there and see a canal with plenty of water go right by my property. And my property has no water. I'm not going to sit there and see my family suffer needlessly. And if it's illegal for me to take a backhoe and open up and make a canal, then I've already been accused of being illegal once before. The most wonderful thing that I've gotten from this march is the friendship, the camaraderie, a sense of importance, not self, but our cause is just. I talked to farmers that were vilified. I talked to farmers and realized that, hey, this dude's my neighbor, man. And we had something in common. And we reserve the right to disagree on a lot of things. So what? We found something to agree on. And that is a foundation. That is something we could have communication. We could talk about that. And we realize that they have the same fears we do. And perhaps some of the prejudice that we have to look inside ourselves. We have to also look to the fact that whether we like it or not, we're here. You're here. I'm here. And it's not such a bad deal. If you realize that, and if you can understand that whether you like it or I like it or not, it doesn't really matter. Facts are facts. When they want to cut this water off, I say to myself, what ulterior motives could they possibly have? How do they want to revert this pristine the country back to how it was? They want to return the salmon back to the Sacramento. They want to do all these things. At what price? At what price do they want to do that? They tell me that the Delta Smelt is the canary in the mine, they say. A wonderful metaphor, the canary in the mine. And I said to myself, well, I'm not a miner. But my uncle was a miner. He mined coal in Chihuahua, and I'll ask him, and he said, oh, yeah, there's a canary. Oh, yeah. The job of the canary is to, we're digging, and we're looking at the canary. We're digging and looking. And that canary dies, man, you run the hell out of there. That canary's job is to die, so you live, see? And that really got to me, and I said, they got it wrong. They want the farmer to die and the canary to live. That's not going to happen. Damn, I wish I would have closed with that one. But it was. I want to show you what happened. I want to show you what happened. Give me a second. I want to show you what happened. So you can look at that, and you can look at that and you say, maybe I'll join them next time, because there's going to be more this time. We're going to go to Washington. We're going to try to do it the legal, the proper way. But, desperate men do desperate things. And this is, I'm not exaggerating this. You got it. Because I know where the pumps are. And I know that somebody out there could be my friend. Someone out there knows how to run those pumps. Someone out there has a blowtorch. Someone out there knows how to make this water run. All we're missing is resolve and a friendship that we must promise to each other. That one day when this is over, and it will be because summer's coming, and I don't expect to go without water. Maybe you and I can, and our families can get to know each other. And we can have a park, and we can barbecue, and we can eat all the things we grow, because it is tragic that in the most fertile soil that God has ever placed on any corner of this blue marble, that we should have a desert where there should be a garden. Wonderful.
Started in Mendota, and hundreds of people made their way to here in Fireball, battling the elements along the way. Hundreds of people braved high winds and dusty conditions on Tuesday to march from Mendota to Fireball about one issue.
Once water is gone, it's gone, see? What the people in the cities don't understand, or those legislating the laws that affect us, is that you can't tell a tree that you'll water it next year. You can't tell a cow that we don't got this This water is essential. It's not a privilege, like I've said. It's a God-given right. We're made out of water. For them to cut water off is unconscionable.
Along the way were some celebrities and high-powered politicians.
Today we take the first step on a journey to really awaken California that we've been putting off solving our state's water problems for way too long. We're living on borrowed time.
So far it's great. I mean, you know, we got rough estimates of anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 people. You know, it really shows the human face of what's happening out here on the west side and for all of California. We need more water.
But the majority of people marching are those affected most by the drought.
The people need food and need job, and it's very, very important.
And organizers say Tuesday's march for water is of the utmost importance.
But you can bet your bottom dollar that if water doesn't get flowing, we don't get working on this aqueduct that's been antiquated for years, we may not have the California our parents left us.
The group marching spread for miles along Highway 33 in California, and there were trucks on the route as well, all a part of a massive effort to make their message heard.
I had no idea that everybody was going to march, and so you could imagine having thousands of people marching over a series of miles. It's fantastic.
And tomorrow morning it all starts again for the second leg of the 4-day trip, and organizers are hoping that more people come along as the days progress. In Fireball, Sean Thomas, KC24, Central Valley's news station.
Let me just say in closing, that's Mario Santoyo. That's my other partner right there. We started this. He started. He takes a round of applause there. Mario, raise your hand. There. He.
Tell us quickly what we can do.
I said, why are the politicians so afraid? What makes these people so intimidate them, scares them? Well, I guess eventually we're gonna have to change them, because what they need to do is, we're going to have to do this again, but this time, that was with hardly very low price. This time, we should have so many people, so many bodies out there that they'll know that fish don't vote. We do. Have a very good evening. Thank you very much.
Solid principles. We've got to get the government out of government.